Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc's Holiday Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Toons 2. Oh boy. This one is about a birthday party being thrown for a young girl named Tiffany who gets a package in the mail in which there is no return address or anything like that. But, well, if you saw the first one, you pretty much know all about the mysterious package. Inside this package is a DVD of Toons 2. Yeah, I know, nice name drop, huh? Well, before all the chaos ensues in the cartoon dimension, Hansel and Gretel are walking along in the forest. They come across a witch's house, start eating the candy. The witch invites them into her house. They wind up drinking something, get sick from it, and apparently die. But in a slight twist, Hansel and Gretel become a rat mutant killer creature, and Gretel becomes whatever that thing is you see right there. So back at the party, they put in the Toons DVD. Why, I don't know. And after the credits, Hansel and Gretel leap out of the TV, and that's when the carnage ensues. And of course, Hansel and Gretel come out of the TV and decide they want to play games with members of the family. Well, it's up to Tiffany's sister Tina and her boyfriend Kevin to try and save the day, along with some of their friends. But of course, they wind up breaking horror movie rule number 1, split up, meet back later. And of course, as you would expect, all the friends, family members, well, just about all the family members, wind up getting killed off by playing musical chairs. Gretel kisses one of the guests. He gets cooties. One of them gets tickled to death. The grandpa winds up hammering himself in the head repeatedly. It just goes on like that. And at one point, Tina and Kevin decide that since they're in the cartoon dimension and they can do whatever they want to, they become superheroes. But of course, that doesn't last very long because Damien, the one who's putting out the DVDs, winds up turning things around on them both. And Damien forces Tina to take his snake. Literally, it's a snake. It comes out of his mouth and it goes into her mouth. And it's up to Kevin to try and save the day. At one point, Tina and Tiffany's mom is taken, and it looks like she's going to be tied down to a rocket and killed off. Kevin winds up rescuing her, saving her by riding this rocket into the DVD machine, looking like he destroyed it. And he winds up blowing up about half the house. The maid who had Tiffany and the mother and whoever else, I guess, in her room, wind up meeting up with the policemen and the firemen and everything like that. They seem to be the only survivors. And before the end of the movie, Damien shows up outside of a DVD store with a case full of Toons 2 DVDs to take in and try and put on the shelves, and the movie ends. The only one I could say that really starred in this movie was Brink Stevens, and she played the witch. Yeah. That's about the only recognizable star you're going to see in this whole movie. So why did this movie suck? Well, just like part 1, it was just a really bad special effect, gory, moronic mess. It wasn't that much fun to watch. The acting was not much better than the first one. And you feel like you're watching a lot of the same special effects from the first one. This one was supposed to have a slightly higher budget, but it really doesn't look like it had that much of a bigger budget than the first one. This one just was not much fun to watch. The gore effects were terrible. They looked like they were... Well, I've heard of practical effects, but these look like impractical effects. These were terribly god-awful. I mean, especially when they blow up the house. You can tell most of the house is still intact. And sadly, there is a Toons 3. Maybe it's better than part 1 and 2. I don't know, but if I ever find it, I'm definitely going to give it a look at. a tryout and see what happens, but I'm not holding my breath or expecting anything much out of Terror Toons 3. Because the first two sucked, part 3 can't be that much better. But at least Brain Damage Films has gotten better with some of their movies, so I'll give it that much. But there you guys have it, a review of Terror Toons 2. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie with very bad practical effects, very bad acting, and you wonder why in the name of God they make a sequel to it, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching, and until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on. The neighborhood's really gone, well, that away. Of course, I don't mind it so much, but the neighbors, though, making all that noise, they're getting kind of annoying.